Hello, welcome aboard. Trying to get my shit together today. It's my first solo voyage, so we're trying to see how things go. What's that?
I don't know if anybody's going to be there the first 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. I don't either. So, how much of me is there? It's time to toke up. I'm way behind schedule here. So, let's get this thing going. Hey, Miss Pariah. Hello. I'm cruising solo today. No special effects. Ah, shit. Come on, burn. Oh, damn, don't tell me my lighter's dead. I had one from the kitchen. Maybe here. Oh, here's another one. I got it. Running a little late today. I've had incombustible weed today. Subdued excitement. Welcome aboard. I'm afraid I'm the cameraman today. I'm just sitting here with a laptop. Hence no special effects. I'm just taking a solo flight. Nope. Mrs. Spliffy couldn't make it. I do have my stoner buddy with me though. Always good to have your stoner buddy along. Because then you're never alone. Boy, this thing it just ain't burning worth a shit. Almost like there's a hole in it or something. Maybe it's the weed. He looks like Chucky. Well, he is a little crazed, you know. Might be the eyes. I don't know. Hello, hello, hello. There you go. It's here in spirit, as you can see. So I wanted to start out the show with a story I didn't quite get to last week. It's a local story. It's a little something happened in a south suburb of Chicago. Back in May, a woman named Crystal Worship lives in Markham with her 3 sons and her boyfriend, Mitchell Thurman. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, police from Country Club Hills and Richton Park initiated a no-knock warrant, excuse me, at her home. for her boyfriend Mitchell, and they came bursting in the house. There were 24 officers armed with assault rifles and flashbang grenades entered her home, and after they apprehended Mitchell, they of course went through the whole house, and her 12-year-old son Amir was awakened in all the commotion, and officer came into his room and told him to put his shoes on. And while he was in the process of doing so, a second officer entered the room and asked to examine one of his shoes. And so he handed the officer his shoe, and in the process of handing him back to him, the officer blew his fucking kneecap off. Now, since the house had been cleared, it would seem to me that his weapon should have been in a safety position. His fingers certainly shouldn't have been on the trigger at that point. And, he's had surgery once now, but there seem to be pieces of his kneecap missing. So it's not the end of the line for Amir in the way of surgeries. He's not done with this. And it seems that Mitchell was arrested for, Mitchell was arrested for possession of drugs and possession of a weapon with an expired FOID card. That's in Illinois, you have to have a firearm owner's identification card, and his was expired. So it's not like he it was just an expired card. It wasn't like he didn't have one. He just didn't renew it, so. And 2 weeks later, all the charges were dismissed. So I don't know. These no-knock warrants and that sort of thing, I got a problem with that, I just it seems to me that I suppose in some instances it's necessary, but I mean, when there's a potential that there might be children on the premises, I think that's a little extreme to come crashing in the door at dawn and terrorize a family. I think there was an extreme possibility that Mitchell might be leaving the house that day and could be apprehended at that time by fewer than 24 officers at a lesser expense to the taxpayer. 87 Apollo, welcome aboard. Just seems to me that wasted a lot of fucking money, and this kid didn't need to lose a fucking kneecap. And I hope they sue the fucking piss out of him, and get a lot of dough, and that this kid can walk. and 24 officers seems excessive to me to apprehend one person. Even if his FOID card is expired. I don't know. Just seems a bit much. So, let's talk about this guy in the Oval Office and the thing that Mexico's not going to pay for. I just want to read this, okay, because as I wrote it down, because I read it over before the show, and I can't believe what I wrote, because then we're going to open it up for discussion, because this is just fucking batshit crazy. Trump urged the Army Corps of Engineers to award a wall contract to a company he favors, North Dakota-based, I'm shaking, Fisher Industries, though the firm had not been selected for the wall production. Okay. Republican Senator from North Dakota, Kevin Cramer, who briefly held up the confirmation of a Trump budget office nominee last month in an attempt to put pressure on the Army Corps, has been aggressively pushing Fisher Industries as well. Now, Cramer demanded to see the contracts awarded to Fisher's competitors, citing the arrogance of the Army Corps in emails when he was refused those documents. Now, when a person in power puts pressure on the government to hire a contractor who's politically connected, is that not the fucking very definition of corruption? I mean, is that, I mean, come on now. I mean, does this not, I mean, if you looked in Webster and you looked up corruption, wouldn't this say, this is it? I mean, as I understand the definition of corruption, this is it. I mean, come on now. How far do we have to go? Is this not a high crime, or at the very least a misdemeanor? What do we got up here? Whoa, wait a minute now. What's going on here? The government is such a weasel. Money undermine the values of men. I got an infection in my heart or a blood clot. What? Yeah, really sorry to hear that, Buds. Honestly. Use a knife. What are you, goofy? Can't be using no knife. I mean, and then of course he wants to take everybody's land away. You got to go back for more CT scans on September 16th. Yeah, it's a long way off. It's not even September yet. Dong Pound. Chillax there. Surprised they don't put your ass in the hospital. Of course, that's right. They don't do that shit no more. I'll tell you. This fucking health system is a fucking sorry state. Feel the burn. You get taken care of. I mean, how can you just fucking do nothing for 2 weeks? Just waiting for a goddamn scan. That's fucking crazy. I mean, I had what turned out to be a touch of pleurisy from toking up too much. And I went to the emergency room down here and they did everything fucking for me in a heartbeat, literally a heartbeat. They had me in there for a CT scan. They did chest x-rays, even gave me a shot of morphine. Happy to say. So I don't know why you got to wait 2 weeks. Oh, more scans. I'm sorry, I didn't read the more. Reasons deranged. You found us this week. Faith, you too, huh? Health problems. You folks got to get healthy. I just had a blood workup last week. It was stellar, by the way. I'm doing great. Oh, you're quite welcome. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. that left eye's foggy today. Put drops in before the show, but we ran a test earlier and I was able to read just fine. Now I'm having trouble. Maybe it's the weed. Maybe if I just move it a little closer. Can you still see me out there? That's great. So, wow. I don't have any way to put up the weed of the week this week, except to just tell you about it. So I guess I will. It's Jilly Bean. And it's a hybrid, an indica hybrid. And it's 22% THC. And it has a nice fruity taste and kind of a mellow buzz. And yes, I would recommend it for like when you, not that I do, but when you get home from work, it'd be nice, a nice kickback, relaxing thing. So that's the weed of the week. And somebody's texted me. That's CVS Pharmacy, the drug pushers, wanting to know if I want 3 months supplies of my prescriptions. An RSO oil recommendation. Not a bad idea. It's on sale this week at my dispensary. So I might look into that. Urologist concerned about kidneys and bladder due to large amounts of blood in your urine. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I got some Jilly Bean. It's your fave? Oh, yeah, it is a nice mellow buzz, isn't it? Earth Gal, I'm doing fine, thank you. How about yourself? It does not grow wild. Dog pound, it does not grow wild. Trippy high, huh? It's fruity. You're right. Kind of very citrusy. Well, I'm glad to see you're doing well there, Earth Gal. Well, the guy in the Oval Office did it again. He just lied out his ass. he went to the G7 and he just couldn't keep his fucking mouth shut. They said, well, how did it go at the climate change conference? He said, oh, it didn't happen yet, but it already had. So then the White House said, well, you know, he'd have been there, but he was meeting with the head of India and head of Germany. Except then they showed a picture of the conference, and head of India and the head of Germany were sitting right next to one another, and 2 chairs over was Trump's empty seat. So then later on at dinner, they had a reporter was asking him questions, and they asked him if he had any thoughts about escalating the trade war with China. And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So they said, really? You got second thoughts? He says, might as well. Might as well. He says, you have second thoughts about escalating the war with China. And he said, I have second thoughts about everything. So then he says, next day, you know, he kind of clarified this, you know, he says, well, I had a phone call from China last night, you know. And they said, you got a phone call from China last night? He said, well, I got 2 phone calls from China last night, you know. China said, man, we didn't call. You know, we never called. You know, who was? Nah, he must be mistaken. Must have been some other China, you know. Maybe got a call from a China shop, but it wasn't us, you know. It might you got if it wasn't China, it was a China shop, or maybe it was bull. It's a bull in a China shop, or I don't know. It was bullshit anyway. So then that wasn't enough for him, you know. Then he had to tell everybody that Melania met Kim Jong-un, you know. Oh yeah, she met Kim Jong-un, and she thinks he's a swell guy too, you know. So how does the White House explain that? Well, he's talked so much about Kim Jong-un that he feels like she's met him. So this guy's a fucking lunatic. And he can't tell the truth. I truly believe he's physically incapable of telling the truth. It can't be done. He can't do that. It's just unexplainable, inexplicable. How do you do this day after day, minute by minute? Okay. Pathological liar, positively, Faith. There's no other way to explain it, because he's done it his entire life. I mean, we've seen it forever. I mean, how many they were keeping track? I think they stopped keeping track of it. Who was it? New York Times or something was keeping track of it. You're right, Reasons. He's mentally 10 years old. It's like I think he was around that age or something when they packed him off to military school because they couldn't control him. Okay. And I think he just never grew up beyond that age. You know, I don't know what it is, but he just, the guy's out of his fucking mind. Maybe it's senility. Jim Torres, welcome aboard. I don't believe I saw your name up there earlier. If you were up there earlier and I didn't see you, it was because I am high. Oh, you're saying you are high because you just arrived and you are high. Hi, I am high too because I started this at 4:20 and it's still going. It's the weed of the week. Jelly bean. Woo. Yeah, so oh, he went to Camp David this weekend. It's unfortunate he didn't go to Mar-a-Lago. I was so hoping he'd go to Florida with this hurricane coming in. Of course, it's changed course. It's not gonna hit Florida quite as hard as it was supposed to. I was at the very least I was hoping it was going to take out the place where he was hoping to hold the G7 summit next year. You know, I mean, if we could knock out next year's G7 summit location, and what's that shit about? I mean, here he wants to make $1 zillion fucking dollars, okay, off the G7 summit. If that's not fucking corruption, what is it with this asshole? You know? Oh, by the way, I can't travel out of the country anymore because I do this show. I was watching the Rachel Maddow show yesterday, and it seems there was this kid who had this scholarship to Harvard, and he comes from Pakistan, and he was coming here on a student visa, full scholarship to Harvard. Kid's a genius. And he got here. They pulled him aside and they went through his phone. They went through his laptop. And based on his friends list, and what his friends had posted on social media, not what he had posted on social media, but based on what his friends had posted on social media, they denied him access to the United States, sent him back to Pakistan. So, although he had not liked any of the things that were posted, okay, he was denied access. So, Harvard has gone to the government to see what they could do to get this kid so that he can come here and do his thing. But now I'm afraid to travel because I do this show and I speak out against Trump. If I go overseas, I don't know that they'll allow me back into the country. They might give me shit about that. And that scares me. So Just want to let you know. He's hurting a lot of people these days. And that happens to be my next story. And this one I'm probably going to need Kleenex for, because this one is really painful. This is kids starting already. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has offered a program for forever. Okay. I think it started under Johnson or Nixon or somebody way back. And pretty much what it is you come to this country as a guest. And you have a child with you, and that child becomes ill. You don't have to leave right away. You could wait till your child gets well, and then you can go home. And it's also been used in other cases where it's been used for research into various diseases and ailments. Now, there's this woman, Chanel Norvell, who came from Guyana. And while she was here, her 4-year-old son had a seizure. And as a result of that seizure, his lungs collapsed. And they had to perform a tracheotomy. And as a result, well, not as a result of that, but he also developed an infection and had to have his large intestine removed. He's in Boston Hospital, and he was diagnosed with epilepsy. And he has, well, now he has probably about 12 days before he has to leave the country. See, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services sent out letters to the parents of all of these sick children around the country and told them they have 33 days to leave the country. No appeals, no recourse. Isabel Puerto from Guatemala was invited here by the FDA at the age of 7. She's 24 now. She has a rare genetic disease, that ailment that that they wanted to study, and she needs weekly treatments or she won't survive. Treatments that aren't available in Guatemala. She has till September 14th to leave the country. So it's basically a death sentence. So when confronted with this, the USCIS said, "Oh no, we're not ending the program. We're just we're turning control of it over to ICE." So then ICE was asked about it, and they said, "We don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And we're definitely not taking it over. And tossed it back to the USCIS. So nobody's doing it. Nobody's taking it over, and it's not going to happen. So yesterday, all the Democratic members of Congress scheduled a hearing for the 6th of September, which is fortunately before anybody has to leave, to show cause why any of these people should have to go now, and to show why or how this is enforceable by law, that they can arbitrarily do this to these people. I mean, they shouldn't just be able to just say, this is what we're going to do without, you can't just change policy like this. This is ridiculous. Excuse me. Bernie Sanders. Last call for a donation. I gave yesterday. I'm sorry, this is. I mean, you can't just. There's a kid, one of the stories I heard, who's between multiple open heart surgeries. Now, how the fuck do you do that? He's had one open heart surgery. He's scheduled for another. Now you're going to fucking send him home to a country where it's impossible for them to even perform this type of surgery. You can't do that to a child. I mean, this is Mengele-like. This is disgusting. What kind of fucking animal is this guy? This has to come from the top. People can't be doing this without his knowledge. I can't believe that this could possibly be happening, Mexico is looking nicer and nicer. Canada is. Anywhere is. Anything is better than this. Trump is making America great. Yeah. Yeah, that was his slogan. He's making America Nazi Germany. It's precisely what he's doing. It's exactly what Hitler did. I mean, he's doing precisely what he did. He's closing off the borders, alienating all the allies. Look at all our allies hate us now. I mean, everybody. They shouldn't be able to do that. They shouldn't be forced. They should be forced to provide hospice. Absolutely. You can't just put these children out of the country in the middle of their health care. I mean, these are children, for Christ's sake. I mean, this is the cruelest of cruel things. I mean, this man is absolute. This is a sociopath, an absolute sociopath. This is the most heartless thing anyone could ever do. Why doesn't he just go into the hospital himself and stab these children in the chest and just have done with it? Humanity has left the building. Exactly. I mean, this is beyond disgusting. He's insane. Yes. I mean, and every week it just gets worse. I mean, you think of the disgusting things he did at the border and you think, how bad can it get? And then he does this. I mean, how far can it go before we put a stop to this man? How far can we let it go? I don't know. 33 days. That's what he gave these people. 33 days. The last time I saw Chairman Nadler on TV, he said that they would start impeachment proceedings by the end of the year. So we can only hope that will happen. It would certainly be nice if they would get this guy the fuck out of there. The only thing is getting the cooperation from the Senate. And if they can't see this, they got to fucking wake up to this lunatic. Sooner or later, they got to wake up to this lunatic. This can't go on like this. He's opening protected land of the fossil fuel industry as well. I know he's going into the most sacred piece of forestry we have in Alaska. What was untouchable. Let's build a wall all the way around DC and lock the gate. I like that idea. Build a wall around him. He's, we got this hurricane coming in, and he's the biggest national disaster we have, I guess it's natural. I don't know. He's an unnatural disaster. I don't know. There's what can be done. I don't know. We have this weapons problem in our country. Should I talk a little louder? Where are the lunatics when you need them? All these right-wing fuckers out there. Where's a leftist lunatic when you need one? Come on, you leftists. Somebody out there. Come on. There's got to be one of you out there with a gun. Please, oh please, oh please. I'm a pacifist. I know I shouldn't be saying that sort of thing, but you know, a fella can dream. You know, this is America. May not agree with what I say, but I have a right to say it. I don't want to be put on a watch list either. But, you know, what are you going to do? If it happens, it happens. I'm surprised no one has tried to get him yet as many, as so many people hate him. I mean, it's, you know what it is? It's just, we're all nonviolent. That's what it is. He's lucky we're all nonviolent. He's got that going for him. So the insiders are the ones. Oh wait, it jumped. The insiders are the ones that would get him if they didn't like him. Yeah, I want to be on the watch. I want to be on the watch list so they can watch me moon them and not give a fuck. Yeah, really. Yeah, well, just makes travel difficult, you know. No. Yeah. Yeah, but that shit that they're pulling with these kids, that really fucking pisses me off. So, well, you know what we're doing? We're fast approaching 420. I got to burn the wick off this sumbitch. It's going to be 420 somewhere. Happy 420 to you. Happy 420 to you. Ooh, set the pants on fire. Still paper. So, not quite. Not quite a pound. Oh, there we go. Now we can spark. Happy 420, folks. Of course, you know, if you got put on a watch list, you'd get taken off when the next guy got in office, so it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, that won't be long. You'd be on a short list. Short. I mean, you'd be on a list for a short period of time. So, you know, you wouldn't be on too long. Because, you know, the next guy's going to take that whole list and say, fuck this, you know. None of these people are the bad guys. He's going to start a whole new list. I just wonder if they're going to pursue this fucker once he's out of office. You roused me from my stone days to get higher. Well, good. I'm glad I did. That's why every 20, you got to toke up again. People used to say, oh, I don't like to smoke weed because it makes me sleepy. And I used to tell them, you don't understand. The expression getting high means precisely that you get high. But that's because you have to keep smoking. Okay? You only get drowsy when you stop smoking. If you keep smoking, you stay high. Okay? That's the trick. So long as you keep smoking, you keep going. It takes 43 joints with overnight stays now in between, you understand. It takes 43 joints to drive from Chicago to Huntington Beach. At least it did in 1973. Because all we had was Mexican. Probably take a lot less now. Because the buzz is better. Yeah, just turn your head into a bongo and keep smoking. That's what I do. There's no point in stopping. Oops. Oh, fire. Fire. Drop the joint. So, yeah, made the trip out there back then. Got to run to pick my friend up from work. Maxine talking to you can give. See you soon. Yes, I will. And thanks for coming aboard. Talk to you later. So I don't. I have some more stories, but I don't know if I want to talk about them. Should I talk about them? I'm tired of talking about the news. I love the courage of that girl, 16-year-old girl that sailed over here. I'm having trouble seeing. There. I love the courage of that 16-year-old girl that sailed. Oh, these are filthy. There. I love the courage of that 16-year-old girl that sailed over here. I'm afraid I don't know that story. You not y'all, LOL. Oh, rural rules. Good seeing you, Board. She was reported and we kept her boat. Oh, nice. We are so great to folks, aren't we? I like when we send people back to the wrong country. That's always pleasant too, you know? Like that kid we sent to Iraq to die. One that was born in Greece. Oh, by the way, the number one democracy in the world now, you know, they list all the democracies by which ones are the countries by which ones are considered the most democratic. The number one democracy in the world now is Vietnam. Okay. How do you like that? We rank like, I don't know, 67th or something. For Poland, they have good sandwiches. Yeah, you know what? I don't think they're on the euro either. The exchange rate is really good there. I don't know that they're a member of the European Union. She came here to help to protest the assault that Trump is making against our environment. She had many death threats from Republicans. Oh, of course she did. She sailed over with her dad to make the smallest carbon footprint to get here. They took her boat. Bastards. Yeah, you got to dig deep for some shit. I know I read a lot of different news feeds. I read a lot of different news feeds. I read them on my phone, actually. I just sit around reading news all the time. And then I watch. I'm always flipping back and forth on different news channels. That's all well, I'm retired. I got nothing else to do. I'm either here or down at the bar. Down there I play music, and in here I watch the news. Looking for shit for this show. You read a lot about growing weed. Mrs. Spliffy just bought me a book about, it was put out by the History Channel, about the history of weed. And I had no idea that, like, goes back like 12,000, man's association with it goes like back like 12,000 years to like Siberia. Trying to stay in my swamp bubble. Strips of draining it and such. Oh, he drained the swamp and he filled it with snakes. Spliffy sounds what? Indeed, Spliffy sounds that way. Same Time magazine has the same issue out, the history. Seen it at Walmart. Oh. We don't have a Walmart around here. It's 20 miles away. I'm leaning this way because I'm reading the chat over here. Boy, this stuff really affected my eyesight. Earlier in the show, I could see just fine without my glasses. Now I can't see shit. I'll have to remember that. I'll have to remember not to smoke this stuff when seeing. I think I'm going to wrap things up, folks, since I'm not seeing much right now. Make it easier if I don't read. So remember, there's nothing funny about peace, love, and understanding. Bye-bye. Let's see now.